Hey, Jake. So we have this mind body energy masterclass coming up. Are you excited?
I am really excited about it. This is something you and I came up with a couple months ago, just over an overall conversation that we just thought would be really, really beneficial for a lot of people. And it just some great energy between us to be able to bring this as a value piece to them. Yeah, I'm super excited. How about you?
Oh, I'm so excited. I cannot wait to show people some examples of how they can quiet their mind, manage stress and anxiety, which is a huge thing that people deal with these days, and to be
Yeah.
able to do it all on their own at home to where they don't have to pay money for a practitioner.
And it's such a big deal. And there's something called a presupposition, right? We remember that from like what, sixth grade English or something around probably the first.
I
And
kind
it was
of English.
and it's literally just means we're going to make an assumption. It's a really fancy word for assumption. Let's be honest about it. And the assumption is everybody has all the resources they have to do everything that they want to do at any given time. We just have to choose to do it, and that's part of this conversation that we're going to have on the 17th is giving everybody the resources. Like, here you go. Here's all the resources. It's up to you to use it. All we have to do is choose to use them. And how we choose to use them is what makes the biggest impact for us.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the biggest things that hold people up is action.
Mm-hmm.
Action
Yeah.
speaks louder than words,
Yep. And
right?
so how do we create action? So if our audience could take one thing from today, right? Because we're going to give them a lot in February. I mean, it is a lot. It's 3 hours. You got an hour and a half with Wendy on one capacity of the body. And you got an hour and a half with me about connecting the brain to the rest of the body and your self-talking language. And it's the action. I love that you brought that up because it's totally true. If we can give the audience one thing today of creating an action in your life to know it will make a difference, right? That belief piece in the action. What would be your take on that? What would you bring as the teaser, if you will, to what you're doing on the 17th? How do we create action in the body?
So everybody's got a morning routine, right?
Mm-hmm. Well, they
Everybody has
should
some
anyway,
sort
whether
of a
they
morning
think they do or not.
routine. What's that?
Whether they think they do or not, they have a morning routine. Yep.
Yeah, and if you're an entrepreneur like us, you most certainly have a morning routine.
Mm-hmm.
So how can we improve that for you to make you more productive in your business? In order to get more leads, in order to deepen those relationships with your kids and your spouses and your family members, how can we improve that morning routine and give you some tips and tricks and all the things that makes your day just a little bit better, that makes your relationships a little bit better?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 100%. So give me an example of one thing in your morning routine, just one that makes a massive impact in your world that you will not go the day without having done.
So that would be my Qigong practice. I do Qigong for 10 to 15 minutes every single morning to get my energy moving, get my body loosened up, get the blood flowing, right? Because who's not stiff when they get out of bed in the morning, especially in your 40s and 50s, right?
I
And
was
to
pretty
get your
stiff in my 20s.
metabolism going so that when you eat, you're processing the food better and you
Mm-hmm.
don't get acid reflux and you don't get hiccups and you don't get all that stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 100%. No, that's great. I mean, that is a piece. And you say you do it every single morning. Do you do it at the same time every morning?
For the most part, except on the weekends, right? Because I do sleep in a little bit longer on the weekends. So
Yeah.
yeah, I do it every Monday, every morning at 7:30. And I've even started in bringing other people into my practice on Monday mornings via Zoom.
Mm-hmm. Nice. Yeah, it's beautiful. Mine's in the same concept, right? So yours is a very physical movement. It is a very physical part of the body to get things in alignment with you.
Mhm.
Mine is gratitude journal. I have a journal, sits down on the kitchen counter, and in the time it takes my coffee to brew, and this is important, the time it takes my coffee to brew, I write 5 things that I'm grateful for every single day. They're sometimes not the same thing, and they're not ever like I'm grateful for some grand, world peace or something. It's not what they are. It's something small that I'm grateful for. Frequently, particularly like this morning, as it was -5 at my house, I was grateful for the wood stove this morning. Super grateful for the wood stove. I was grateful that my dog is healthy. I was grateful that I watched a movie. My wife and I laughed last night. It is simple things, very, very simple things that we're grateful for, because much like your physical piece, to where if the body is flexible and the body is doing what it's supposed to be doing, it can't be flexible and stiff in the same spot, right? You can't. You're either flexible or you're stiff. You're either grateful or you're grumpy. You have one place or the other, but you can't be both, right? So in order to start my day on the best foot possible, I start out with gratitude and I journal it every day. That's part of my morning routine. And I make it so that I can't not miss it. Like, I plug my coffee in, I can stand there and I can stare at the percolator for 5 minutes, or I can reach my left hand within reaching distance of the coffee pot and write my journal. I make it so it's impossible to not do it. I make it so it absolutely critically gets done every day. So,
I love that.
yeah, those are great. Those are great.
Yes. Yes.
And
So what is one teaser you want to leave for our potential audience for the masterclass coming up?
ooh, yeah, so a teaser about what we're going to deal with. So we're gonna really drill on limiting beliefs. We're going to drill on limiting beliefs that you lay on yourself, and we're going to drill on limiting beliefs that other people lay on for you, that we take with us and we carry around like a great big heavy backpack that we didn't need to carry. I will give you the example of a limiting belief that somebody else lays on you, and that would be, well, you can't do that in this market, or you can't do that. You can't run that race because I couldn't run that race.
Yep.
You couldn't climb that hill because I couldn't climb that hill.
Right.
How do we dispense and dispose of and just move off of that? How do we let it go? And how many times do we lay one of those on ourselves? So let's leave it with the Henry Ford quote, one of my favorite. Whether you believe you can or you believe you can't, you're right.
I love
So
that because it's so
sure.
true.
It's so true. It's so true. So give us the same, Wendy. What's the teaser for what you're going to be bringing to the class on the 17th?
Yeah. So everybody knows at this point anyways, that energy is in everything, right? God is in everything. Energy is in everything. You will be surprised how good you feel just by moving the energy. It's one thing to go out and exercise and to run and to jog and to lift weights and all of that glorious things that helps the muscles and the tissue. But most people don't understand how good it feels to move energy and to just get it flowing. So I'm going to show you ways on just how to do that so that, yeah, so that you can feel rejuvenated in 10, 15 minutes.
Yep. And that's what this class is all about. It's actionable pieces everybody can do, everybody can use, everybody has the resources to be able to do, to be able to really show up as the best possible version of yourself.
Yeah, you can
Yeah.
be in the older age, you can be in the younger age group, you can be fit, you can not be as fit. You know, it doesn't matter what your lifestyle, ethnicity, size, shape,
Mm-mm. Not at all.
exercise level, all of any of those things. We're still going to give you things that you can use, that the everyday person can use on their own at home to develop and cultivate their own self-care routine.
Yep. 100%. 100%. And if this is one of those spots, like, does it cost money to go to the event? Of course it does. Why wouldn't it? Why would it not cost? If you're not willing to invest in yourself, then good Lord, man, like you at least write the check, and then you're going to be more committed to putting it in your calendar. You're going to be more committed to chaining the habit together, to create that habit, to create that best version. You do it
Yeah,
for
because
free.
you've spent your hard-earned money on it.
You spent your hard-earned money on it, you bet. And what a minor investment to create the best version of yourself. Like, we talked a long time about what the price on this class was going to be, and to bring it down to accessible for everybody to the point to where we've got it, and yet still make it purposeful so that you would commit to it. That's the
Yeah,
point.
I mean, it's under $250,
Right.
right? It's only $249 unless you're an Achieve member. Then you
Yep.
just put in the Achieve promo code to get your discounted price. I mean, $250 for 3.5 hours, right? Because we
Mhm.
also have our sponsors,
That's right.
Biomed IV and Clean Body, Clean Life that does lymphatic drainage. We
Yep.
still have them that are coming in. So the 3.5 hours of what you're going to get with the energy and the linguistics that you talked about and the IV education and then lymphatic education. I mean, $250 or less than is really a nominal charge for the amount of information and education and the tools and the tips that you're going to be able to walk away with.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I am invested in it far more than that, into my personal world and what I've done. And the same is true for you. We are 6 figures probably each into investing in ourselves to be the best version of ourselves. And what a better way to give it back. What a better way to
Right.
give it back.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So February 17th, right? What time do we start?
February 17th, 10 till 2. And we will
Yes.
put the details and the address to the venue and the QR code in the link below. Sign up, space is limited, guys. This is all about how to create the best version of you for you. And then when you're the best version of you, you can show up for that for everybody else.
You know, moms can't be the best that they can be unless they invest in themselves, right? Unless they
Mhm.
take care of themselves. They cannot be there for their kids and their spouses and their employees and everything else if you don't take care of yourself.
Yep. And if we're demonstrating we're not willing to invest in ourselves, why on earth would somebody else invest in us?
That's right.
This is an opportunity to show up for us.
That's right. Yes.
Love it.
So scan the QR code below. Go register for the class because it will sell out soon. With all the events that we're going to be promoting it out pretty in the next couple weeks, it's going to get sold out.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Wendy, thanks for the conversation today.
Yeah, thanks, Jake. I appreciate it. And I look forward to seeing you in a couple days.
You will. Yep, we will. That'd be great.
Awesome.